Warriors, rise, grand rising. Good evening, Warriors. Excited to be with you guys. Sorry, I'm a little late here. We got some background stuff going on with the audio visual type stuff. So I know we got a lot of transitions with our new wealth transfer podcast, but all my stuff was gone for my show today. So excited to be with you guys today. Ready to transition right into this show. Reminder, we have the new wealth transfer podcast on Friday. This show is live with me on Mondays, and we're going to dive right in. So we're going to let some people join here. Go ahead and put your comments or questions in the chat. I'm going to be going over some news. I'm going to be addressing some concerns that I have within the XRP community that I posted this morning, and I want to share the why behind it. I think that's really important. Actually, I'll address that part first. So I put out a tweet this morning that I do want to address because, and I want to share the why behind it. So I put out a tweet this morning that I said, stop with these price prediction bets. These are people's effing lives you're messing with, right? Those of you posting this for views, you should be ashamed of yourself, right? So this is really important. This is where it's coming from. It's ramping up again around the hype and price predictions, and people don't see the hundreds of messages we received. And I'm not kidding, hundreds of messages that we received last year on the back end of the year. So let's go a little bit deeper into this and where this is coming from. And it really triggered me this morning when I woke up and I saw this is back on the table again. And I just want to share my truth, and I'm going to get off my soapbox. Is last year, and I know this seems innocent, right? But I know that God has given me this platform, and what I say, people listen to. And that's really, 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 really important. I'm going to say that again. I feel very grateful that God has given me this platform. Okay. So I'm very thoughtful. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. But I'm very thoughtful on the words that I say and the things that I say, because people make decisions based on what I say. That's why I share my percentage of my portfolio, exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Exactly what I'm doing. Okay. People don't see, like, I see the comments on there and like, oh, you're being a hater. I'm like, guys, you don't see the comments that we get and the messages that we get on my Instagram, on my especially TikTok, hundreds of messages last year. Do you think it's going to, what was it? I think it was $100. Do you think it's going to $100? I'm talking about XRP specifically. People were mortgaging their houses. People were getting credit cards. People were telling their family that it was going to go to $100. They literally thought by the end of the year, they were telling their families and planning their lives off of that price prediction. Woke up on January 1st, 2026, and their hopes were absolutely crushed. Single moms looking at their kids saying, hey, sorry guys, I was wrong. And now it's starting up again. So that's frustrating. And I just want to put that out there. All seeds that planted will bear fruit. Okay. So I just want to share with you guys that we are going to bring the calmness in the storm. That's the point of this. Guys, it's not about price predictions. It's not about hope. It's about authenticity. It's about building a structure, a systemized plan with systems, process, structures, and containers, and making sure that you feed that ecosystem. Okay, there is no get rich quick. There's getting wealthy for sure by having a plan. And I just wanted to put that out there. I don't care if people get upset about it, but it's true. Like if you're an influencer or whatever, a creator, and you are putting it out there, it doesn't care if you have 100 followers or 10,000 followers or 10 million followers. When you're putting your word out there, people are going to listen to it. And even if it's one person, it may seem innocent to you, but it's not, right? It may seem easy to say when you have a lot of money in the background, but people are really relying on this for their future. The middle class has to make $160,000 to $180,000 a year just to be middle class. So people are grabbing onto these types of things as hope. And so I just wanted to put that out there with the risk of getting just battered. Like, there's a lot of mixed comments out there, but I don't care. I'm here to speak my own truth. I'm here to speak exactly what I'm doing. And I'm here to call out bullshit when it's out there on the table, because that's not how winning is done. Warren Buffett isn't sitting there chasing price predictions or hopium. Ray Dalio isn't chasing, oh, I hope this price. No, they're building plans. They're building structure. They're looking 10 years ahead. Okay, Kathy Woods isn't chasing price predictions. So we have to really, 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 really mature our portfolios, guys, because the fact is money follows maturity. Money, I'll say it again, money follows maturity. And what does maturity look like? Systems, processes, structure a budget. Men, especially you, if you don't have a budget and you're not predictable, your family can't trust you. So I'm going to dive into some news and we're going to open up the questions or comments. We're going to dive right in. And then we're going to get into I'm going to go into some news here. Sorry, I was a little discombobbled. My intro video wasn't there and stuff like that. So I'm going to get this all fixed up and we'll get ready to rock and roll. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is Treasury. This is interesting. So Treasury announces President Donald J. Trump's signature on future U.S. paper currency. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you guys here. Okay, so this is an official announcement from the U.S. Department of Treasury. Okay, the Treasury announced President Donald J. Trump's signature to appear on future U.S. paper currency. Then I'm going to go back and show you guys a video 9 years from Donald Trump. What I need you to understand is that by 2030, everything's going to be different. Okay, your whole monetary system is going to be completely rewired. First, they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. You're now in regulation and joining phase. That's by Draper, okay? So we are in the very early stages of the rewiring of the financial system. It's not by chance that the Clarity Act's being delayed, guys. You see this battle between crypto and the banks. That's not what's happening, guys. They are working together behind the scenes to figure out how they can all still profit off this, okay? The centralized system is going to become part of the decentralized system. What we thought we were running from, okay? We thought we were running into decentralization and, we were going to run the whole monetary system and run from this is the very people. The way that I explain this, let me bring you guys on my screen. The way that I explain this, and this is a logical way to look at this, okay? So in 2023, everybody in Bitcoin was anti-government. They were running to decentralization. And then we were at the Bitcoin conference in 2024, and they're cheering for politicians on stage. The Bitcoin president, JD Vance was up there. Politicians walking around, people trying to take their pictures with them. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you were anti-government. I thought you were anti-centralized systems. Do you see what I'm saying? It's we're drunk in the Coliseum, guys. We got to get our shit together. We got to get grounded. We got to mature this because the system is going to change and they are building the system behind the scenes. There's not this big battle between the traditional banking system and the crypto DeFi system, guys. It's very clear that they're working together behind the scenes. And when they're ready to profit in it, why do you think the Clarity Act keeps getting delayed? Oh, I thought it was back end of 2025, and then it was Q1, and now it's Q2, and it's probably going to be Q3 and Q4, just like the Ripple case, guys. It lasted 5 years. Non-egregious case, non-egregious. 5 years. If you look at the SEC website, egregious cases last about 12 to 24 months. Egregious. It was completely non-egregious. It was about XRP being traded on the secondary market as a security by Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse. But it lasted 5 years, and it settled, okay, when they started developing the Genius Act, and then they started bringing in the Clarity Act, and now the Clarity Act will be approved when they're all ready to profit, guys. So all that's happening is, imagine we're seeing the reconstruction of the financial system. We think that there's this big battle, but what they're doing is they're trying to figure out how they're going to set up the rails because we could run off into decentralization. They say this is about yield, but if it's about yield, I'm earning 3% on my USDC right now. I'm already doing that. So it's not about, what are you talking about? Like they're worried about them running. We could do it right now. We could run off into Coinbase and get 3%, or you can run off into some DeFi platform, right? And there's this big battle between people are shocked that Coinbase is pro. I mean, it's like people are shocked that politicians lie. I mean, it's like we have to really take a deep breath. And this is why we're so calm in the Warrior Academy, because the fear and greed index right now is at an all-time high, which is crazy. This is where we get wealthy, family, because this is the type of stuff that's actually happening here. Okay, check this out. So it says, in honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump's signature will appear on future U.S. currencies, along with the Secretary of Treasury, which would be Scott Bessent, making the first time in history for a sitting president. So the sitting president's name is going to be on currency now. First time in history, okay? Under President Trump's leadership, we're on a path towards unprecedented economic growth. I just filled up my car and it cost me $100 for a half a tank. lasting dollar dominance and fiscal strength and stability. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent says there is no more powerful way to recognize a historical achievement of our great country, President Donald J. Trump, than US dollar bills bearing his name. And it is only appropriate that this historical currency is issued by, I can't even pronounce what the hell that is, semi-quincentillion. I can't even pronounce that, guys. I don't know if you can see that. I apologize. As the 250th anniversary of our great nation approaches, America's currency will continue to stand as a symbol of prosperity, strength, and the unshakable spirit of American people under President Donald J. Trump's leadership, said Treasurer Brandon Beach. The president's mark on history as the architect. Okay, this is where my logic kicks in. The architect of the American Golden Age economic revival is undeniable. Printing his signature on the American currency is the not only appropriate, but well deserved. Okay, let's go back to watch this 9 years ago.
And we are working on that as we speak. We have conversations with various representatives of China. I believe that will all work out very well for everybody. China, Japan, the United States, and everybody in the region. As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field, because that's the only way it's fair. That's the only way that you can fairly compete in trade and other things. And we will be on that field, and we will all be working very hard to do great for our country. But it has to be fair, and we will make it fair.
Okay. So now we stand 9 years later. We have stablecoin regulation, the Genius Act. Trump has the fastest growing stablecoin, USD1. USAT is now part of America, which is Tether, which is 90% stablecoin market. Stablecoins use 60% short-term treasuries. Trump's name is now going to be on the currency as the sitting president, not as a former president or a past president to honor them, but as a sitting president. His name is going to be on the currency. Okay, so let's go back to logic and let's take a look at Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. This is how I do my investments, not off hype, not off hopium, not off price predictions, off of reality. There's been over 32 major market collapses over the last 200 years. Okay. If you study back Ray Dalio's Changing World Order, I've been bringing this to you guys since 2020, is there's been fall and rise of superpowers. And this is exactly how it happens. So if you take a look at this is Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. We're heading into the new world order. Remember, after World War II, okay, Bretton Woods came in, the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, that's the Bank of Banks, the IMF, International Monetary Fund. Okay, we became the world's reserve currency, and then we started weaponizing our currency against everybody. But then we had the Bretton Woods, we had the gold-backed standard. But 1971, we detached from the gold standard. By 1974, going into 1976, inflation was out of control, and so we went into what's called the petrodollar. Okay, the petrodollar allowed all dollars to be traded in, all oil to be traded in U.S. dollars, which helps the stability of the U.S. dollar, made it the most stable. I wouldn't say stable. It made it the most powerful currency in the world, and that allowed us to weaponize the dollar against other countries. Well, this is really important to understand. Okay, you got to get out of the hype. In 1988, we became completely detached from the reality of money. Okay, we went into what's called Reaganomics. Okay, Reaganomics, Trump is very similar to Reaganomics. Remember, Trump got very wealthy during Reagan's presidency. That's when he started his casinos. Okay, there was deregulation, printing of money. Okay. In 1988, we started what's called financialization. Financialization is when you could literally, I mean, it was bad after World War II, because the middle class was born. I have a whole project coming out about this, a thesis that I'm going to be presenting to you guys. Is World War II, the middle class was socially engineered, right? That means, what that means is we used to buy our homes, guys. There used to be short mortgages with a balloon payment on the back end. So families would live together. People would buy houses they could actually afford. Okay, this is really important to this changing world order, because you have to pay attention to what's happening with your financial structure. Okay, the system is dead. A new system is coming in. Pay attention. Okay, So what happened is we used to have short mortgages. I think they were like maybe 5 to 15 years. I think they were really short. There was a balloon payment at the end. Then you had to pay the balloon payment. Then you owned the home. Okay. After World War II, we went to World War II. Remember when bullets fly? The whole system changes. You go into a new world order. I just explained to you guys, Bretton Woods, IMF, we became the world's reserve currency. Well, then they socially engineered the middle class. Okay, what that meant is the picket fence, the 30-year mortgage. That meant you could spread out a home over 30 years, so the payment was a lot lower, so people could buy houses they couldn't afford. The problem with this family is when you buy a 30-year mortgage, okay, when you buy a 78-month auto loan, you literally gave away future labor that you have not worked. So when you have a 30-year mortgage, a 78-month auto loan, you rent your phone, okay, you finance your TV, you finance your refrigerator, you literally gave away future labor, creating compliance. So the middle class was socially engineered into compliance. So your pension, well, that's dead. The pensions are dead. The 60-40 is dead. Okay. The old retirement plans that our grandparents grew up in, it's done. It's absolutely done. The stock market's overvalued. We brought to you guys on Friday the private credit crack that we see. We think that's going to be the 2006 to 2008 collapse from 2026 to 2030. Pay attention to the private credit markets. Guys, we're literally walking on a tightrope right now. A absolute tightrope. There will be some sort of catastrophic collapse that's going to bring us into the new system. Okay, that's why we've been preaching from the mountaintops. I know the hype and the price predictions sell and it's great, but this is not, you have to pay attention to what's happening right now. I'm trying to wake you guys up. Is the private credit markets, we're going to keep bringing that to you guys. We're going deep into it, guys. There's a systemic crack happening right now where there was too much low interest rates, cheap money, and a ton of non-bank financial institutions were lending credit. Now, BlackRock is trying to pull that into your 401k. Okay. Just like what happened when they package up bad debt with GE and sold it to you. Okay. This is why we're all about sovereignty, manage your own money, because this is what it looks like. Okay. Ray Dalio's changing world orders, large debts. We have massive amounts of debts, printing of money. We printed more money than in history. Internal conflict. I mean, America's F right now. I mean, I travel around I go to other countries and people are looking at us like we have a black eye. Like we are not, we used to be the shining star. People saw Hollywood and all these things. They wanted to come out here. And now people are like, man, what's going on in America? Left versus right, protest. I mean, there's tons of protests going on everywhere. Loss of reserve currency. Okay. The US dollar has just gone down 11% this year. So it's not that things are getting more expensive, is that your currency is becoming worse, less. Weak leadership. Okay. So we know the old administration, but now we're starting to see a battle between our own. So, all the promises that were made, gas prices are $5 right now. Okay. Mortgages are not going down. Interest rates are actually going up. So people are hitting a literal tipping point right now. And then civil war and revolution. So when bullets start to fly, so if boots hit the ground, guys, Gonzo brought this up on Friday. If boots hit the ground, we're going into a brand new system. And who knows how long this is going to go. And like Gonzo said, if boots hit the ground, guys, the markets are going to absolutely melt down. And that's where opportunity comes in. Now, I'm not preaching that we want boots to hit the ground. That is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for war, but we are victims of what happens. So if boots hit the ground, the market's are going to absolutely melt down. We got an overvalued stock market. Why do you think Bitcoin's why do you think gold and silver's at an all-time high? Why do you think there was 0 Bitcoin treasuries in 2020 and there's 130 something Bitcoin treasuries? Why do you think BlackRock is the largest holder in Bitcoin now? Why do you think Trump out of billionaires is the largest holder in Bitcoin? Why do you think Eric Trump's American Bitcoin has climbed to the number 16 Bitcoin treasury? Trump Media is in the top 10 Bitcoin treasuries. BlackRock is the number 3 holder in the number 1 Bitcoin treasury in the world, Strategy B. Number 3 is XXI, which is 21 Capital, which is connected to Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary. Steve Witkoff, who is writing the rules, Jared Kushner, they're going around writing the rules and doing all the deals. They started World Liberty Financial, guys. It's all interconnected at an extremely, extremely, extremely deep level. So this is some other news here that we need to pay attention to. U.S. Treasuries bought back $2 billion of their own debt. I mean, it's just a Ponzi scheme, guys. Okay, this is our investments. This is our money. This is our reality. And U.S. banks are currently facing unrealized losses of $306 billion. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the markets right now, and then we'll get into some questions and comments here. The markets right now are somewhat green here. So it looks like we're having a little bit of a green day. Bitcoin is up about 1.53%. We do think that Bitcoin, so we did some predictions on Friday. We're doing predictions the opposite way, not price prediction on the way up. We think that Bitcoin can go down. I think my bet is around close to 30,000. I can't remember all the bets. So anywhere in between 50 to 30,000 by November. We think it's going to follow the same cycle. What we do is we buy on the way down. That's all we do. We absolutely love red. My goal is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can in the red. I dollar cost average every single day. Just to share with you my portfolio, XRP is 43%, Bitcoin is 40%, WLFI is 4%, and Solana is 3.7%. I still have HBAR, I still have XLM, and I still have VeChain. Obviously, much lower percentages. I'm only accumulating XRP, Bitcoin, WFI, and Solana. That's it. So my partner and I, we're a little bit, she's about 50% insurance. I'm 30% cash value life insurance. Okay. I'm 60% digital assets and 10% stocks. And then within the stock portion, there's about 1% precious metals. Okay. I have Berkshire, I have silver, I use Bitcoin as my gold, and then I have dividend stocks that are just absolutely crushing it. And then I de-risk back into Bitcoin and XRP. So this is Merlin. Actually, I'm the co-founder and creator of this. So this is a demo account here. I want to show you a powerful tool that we'd like to help you explore. So you can download it 30 days for free. This is how I track my crypto, guys. When you're traveling around, do not log on to exchanges on foreign Wi-Fi's. This is an interface. It pulls all your exchanges into one place, keeps your crypto safe. And then check this out, what we created here. Boom. You click right here. You don't have to know how to do Fibonacci anymore, guys. You can actually build your own exit targets, and it does it for you. So if you're trying to figure out how do we exit these markets, how do we set up our exit targets, you build your exit strategy. All you have to do is come in here. You click the all-time high, the all-time low. You type in how many targets you want to exit, and boom, it does your exit targets for you. We made it super simple, super easy. So down below, you can download Merlin 30 days for free in the description of my video or my social media platform. Click the link. All right, so let's dive into some questions or comments. Let's go through here. Good morning. Good morning, warriors. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, thank you, man. I'll see you on refinedintegrity.com. That is my men's coaching program, refinedintegrity.com. Check it out. Good morning, my love. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Ontario in the house. Rough times still ahead. Yeah, I would say positive times still ahead. Buckle down and hold tight, man. This is where we built wealth, was in the red. And it's like, I hope we don't create like this 10-year war, right? I don't want boots to hit the ground because I don't want people's lives in danger, right? So I serve my country too, guys. You know, I'm proud to be an American. I want to make that very clear. I served my country for 5 years. I was in the military. My family was military. I'm proud to be an American. I built 6 companies. I mean, it's one of the greatest places in the world, man. One of the greatest places in the world, but I do not support useless wars. I just don't support it. So rough times will only make us stronger. Amen. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from Kentucky. Good day from Michigan. What's up? What's up? Buenos dias. Buenos dias. What's up? What's up, Donnie? Thank you for the referral, man. We're going all in with your book lady. Thank you, guys. Check this out. Check out his book, The 6-Figure Barber. Let's go. Let's go. I want to give a shout out to our people. So he recommended me to have a little project coming out. So thank you very much. We're going all in. Good morning. Good morning. Donnie in the house. Let's get up. Let's get some questions here. So I will share with you. I do not share which high risk ones I have because exactly the word high risk. I think it's irresponsible because I have extremely strict de-risking plan. And when people don't understand how to de-risk, and it's also a small percentage of my portfolio that yields a large amount of return. So I'll share with you my tier 2 and tier 3, but I'll give you hints on what to research. So if you go onto Google or onto chat, you can research ETFs, dividend stocks, and options. Okay, so that would be good. So high yield, high return, dividend options, and a bunch will come up. Just be very, very careful because they're options trading. That's what they're doing. So options is basically gambling, right? So what I'm getting high risk, high return, I'm de-risking into Bitcoin and XRP. Number 2, a medium risk would be STRC. If you don't believe in Bitcoin, don't even think about it. It's strategy B's preferred stock. And so, for example, if I throw 100 grand in, I'm getting about a 9 to 11% return off of that investment. So I have stable net asset value. So net asset value means so if I put 100 grand in about 2 years, that should be around 100 grand. So you're not getting the price appreciation up or down. You're getting pure cash flow. Okay. My dividend stocks are all about cash flow. My tier one, high risk, high return, I manage them like a business. So if I put $100,000 into a landscaping company, okay, my point is to make cash flow, right? Imagine if I had the landscaping company, I took the cash flow and I bought Bitcoin and XRP with it every single month, right? Because my NAV is I'm going to pretend my NAV is going to erode. Every time my landscapers use the equipment becomes less valuable. That's net asset value erosion, okay? So I'm extracting the cash flow, and if I can make it a certain amount of time, my business becomes profitable. That's how you run a business, right? So I run my tier one just like I run businesses. If I can make it a certain amount of time, then it tips, right? So my net asset value, my cash flow, if it's de-risked into something that grows over time, will beat my net asset value erosion. So that's the way that I look at those. So where do you see crypto in 5 years? I see it as in 5 years. Great question. And that's where my brain is at, 3 to 5 years. 5 years, I see it fully integrated into the banking system. I would say the market cap is about 2 trillion right now. I'd say anywhere from 5 to 10 trillion. That might be, I think that's pretty fair. You know, it's going to be integrated into everything you do, but a lot of it you won't even see, right? Because the word crypto, people think Bitcoin, people think price, right? Crypto, think blockchain, right? Everything you do is going to be on the blockchain. So I think it's going to be integrated in everything you do. Too much hoping and price predictions. Yeah, it just hurts people, man. I'm telling you, I just had to speak that truth because I only said that because of the messages we get, right? I wouldn't even be getting into that arena or even voicing my opinion, but I want to be the voice for the people who can't voice that, or maybe their comments don't go viral and things like that. But guys, we've had 15,000 people in our community. We have what, 4,000 active people. I get hundreds of messages a day on my social, and all the back end of last year, and it's starting again. That's what triggered me. I woke up and I'm looking at my messages. I'm like, oh my God, like people are back again because they're making these bets again about these huge prices. So people grab onto that because they're looking for hope, and it may be innocent, but it's not. It's not. I mean, imagine if I came on here and told you guys that Bitcoin was going to $1 million in 6 months, and I'm 100% sure it's going to happen. Would you agree or disagree that some of you would make decisions based on my conviction? Yes or no? Like that's reality, right? Like I make decisions off of some of the things that I look at in regards to some of the people that I respect because I respect them, right? And people don't see, and I'm okay with getting bashed on that post that I put because people don't see the messages we get of the single moms that were completely shattered on the back end of last year because they really thought that they were going to wake up and be multi-millionaires. They really believe that. People were hanging till midnight on New Year's. This is real. This is not bullshit. These people were hanging on this. In our community, people were asking, what do you think about this prediction? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's going to? No. We said, no, we don't. We look at charts and we look at history and we look at Fibonacci and we look to see where we think it's going to go. Okay. Did we want it to go to 100? Do we want it to go to 1,000? Do I want it to go to this next price prediction? Of course. And am I okay with being wrong? 1,000%. Because if I'm wrong, we all win. But what I'm not okay with is people not building budgets, people not building plans, people not building dollar cost average, people not having an entry and an exit plan. Okay. Because that's not how winning is done. That's like you may as well go to the lottery, to the gas station, buy a lottery ticket. That's what you're waiting for. That is not how investing is done. It just doesn't work that way. And again, I'm okay with being wrong because if I'm wrong, we all win. And I'm not against the price. That's not my point. I'm against people banking everything on that because people were mortgaging their houses. And that's where their responsibility comes in. And so they say, well, it's just innocent. It's just a fun bet. But if your voice matters, it's not innocent. I think about from my voice, if I was to say to you guys, it's going to go here, people would listen to me. And I just think that's irresponsible. And I think it needs to be called out because when it started, I was okay. It rested. It finally went to sleep last year. And I finally am like, wait a minute, this is back again. And I'm seeing people post about it and watch all these influencers are going to use it as content. But people believe that. Now a whole new wave of people are going to come in, they're going to believe it, and they're going to hold on to it. Now, if I'm wrong, that's okay, but that's not how you win in investing. It There's not one wealthy. We have clients that are, my average client is about 3 million up to 100 million. There's not one multi-million dollar client that is focused on price predictions. Not one. Not one. They're focused on family legacy, on dollar cost averaging. They're focused on entry plans, exit plans. They're building cash flow, right? So just want to share that. Thank you so much, Donnie. Thank you. Yeah, I really we love doing the show. I just love having everybody on there. Cursed face not welcome. I don't know what that means. What are your thoughts about all the hype around SpaceX pre-IPO? I haven't really seen any hype around it. I haven't checked into that, but I do own SpaceX pre-IPO on Link 2 that went bankrupt. I own a good amount of, it's kind of a funny story, actually. I bought it on accident, but I'm glad I bought it. But I own a good amount pre-IPO on Link 2, so that's in the bankruptcy case. But I haven't seen any hype around it, but I will look into that. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Do you ever feel they are walking us into the mark of the beast by 2030? I think that's been the running theme since humanity was created, right? So, and I'm just going to share my opinion and my thought process on how that works. I think that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So if you believe they're walking to well, let's think of Adam and Eve, right? Adam and Eve are in the garden, right? And they say, don't eat from that tree in the mist. In the mist. I used to say the middle, the mist, mist, like in the middle there, right? I think it would be the middle. A snake, the beast, comes up, okay, and it says, eat from that tree, right? And so she grabs from that tree, and then boom, we go into the human condition consciousness. The two separate, right? They put fig leaves, like they're naked, so that they see each other separation, male and female. And I think that is the human condition. The two become one. You create Cain and Abel. Cain can't kill Abel, right? And every generation, like it's the mark of the beast. The internet was the mark of the beast, and then this is the mark of the beast, and the end of the Mayan calendar. And we're always grabbing onto this is the mark of the beast. This is the mark of the beast. And they go to Jesus. Who do we pay our taxes to? He's like, who's on the coin? Caesar. Pay your taxes to Caesar. Give to God what is his. Give to me what is mine. So I struggled with that in the beginning. But I know that I use these tools for good, right? I use the internet for good. I've used my phone for good, and I've used my wealth for good. So I think the mark of the beast is really the embodiment of your soul and your intentions on what you're doing. Now, if they go to put a chip inside, of course I'm not going to do that, right? That's where you draw the line and things like that, where the physical body gets integrated with technology. But people said that like Face ID, I'll never do the Face ID, but everybody opens. I see this, I hear this all the time. So I'm a very logical person. People are like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But y'all open your phone with Face ID. Everybody was out there doing their ancestry.com. It's like, so I think that each generation has their version of the mark of the beast, but I think it has to do with a personal sovereignty of your soul and your heart and your intentions. That's just how I see it. I know that I use my technology for good. And I'm sure there's a point as a man and head of household and protecting my family where I have to make a decision. Is it the mark of the beast? Is it? But until those moments come and I have to make those decisions, I'm going to be working on focusing on spiritually, physically, and financially protecting my family. And so I just think every generation has said that, right? The mark of the beast is the phone, and then the internet, and then now it's crypto, and then it's, I don't know. We all say that, and then we end up using it because we don't have a choice, right? And so that's why I'm trying to teach people. That's why we're teaching people to build these plans. Like we're out of debt. So we got completely debt free on the personal side, and I got everything on the asset side. So that's the best thing I can do to create sovereignty. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Paper fiat losing value, so it only makes sense he's putting his name on it. That's a good one. I listened to the price predictions. Yeah, it just doesn't work, man. Sorry. Immature masculine creates hype. Immature feminine follows hype. Yes, this is really important for my partner May here. So guys, money follows maturity. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. Okay, immature masculine creates hype. That's what immature men and women do. Okay, immature men and women create hype. Okay, it's like a circus, right? Mature men and women, they create structure, systems, processes, and predictability through their actions. Okay, that's really important. Remember this: maturity, money follows maturity. Or just remember that money follows maturity. So if you're immature as a woman and you're going out and you're buying shoes because you feel down about yourself, that's immature. A man, you're going on OnlyFans and you're gambling, you're playing poker, that's immature. You're never going to build wealth, or you'll always be chasing wealth and hype. So what's up? What's up? Just stop. I'm not sure what you're saying. I love you, brother. Thoughts on STCX stock on Solana? Man, sorry, brother. I have no exposure to that. I haven't had any research on that at all. All this talk, just say buy low, sell high. Okay, Tony, buy low, sell high. Agreed, it's disheartening to see some of the influencers and people with voices misleading people and selling hopium. Yeah, it's like, come on, man, let's build. Let's like, instead of talking about price predictions, like reveal your plan, like show people what are you invested in, what are your percentages, what do you got, what are we doing here? Let's build. Okay, so I always hear price predictions on XRP, but I also invest in WFI and ABTC because of your recommendation. I'm down significantly. Any positive outlook on those and what to expect? I'm buying on the way down. All the markets are down right now, so I don't do price predictions. So I don't have I have an exit plan based on Fibonacci. So I think in the next bull market, I think WFI can go to $1 based on our following actual proper charting. Right. So basically what I'm doing is the ABTC comes down, WFI comes down, I'm dollar cost averaging in, and then I exit on the way up. So I don't do price predictions. We just do Fibonacci. So Santa Claus in house didn't show up on New Year's Eve. He did not. I don't know how YouTube continues to allow this BS line influencers to wreck people. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm not trying to. I get it, because that was me. Like, I was really immature when I first started my channel, and the price predictions, the geometria and the Simpsons predictions and the drops and the Qs, and it just didn't work, guys. It really wrecked us. And we were holding on to some type of like the next drop and the next, oh, geometria says this. And is all that stuff viable? I guess it's just not how you should plan your wealth and plan your life, right? You should plan it based on discipline, consistency, structure, planting, reaping, sowing, harvesting. That's biblical. And if you plant, reap, sow, and harvest, it might work out. So immature masculine loves to force things into existence, and immature feminine leaks energy and money because they're looking for a savior. Pretty destructive. Yeah, it's really destructive. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. XRP to the moon. LOL. Guys, I'm not trying to be like, I think Gonzo said that we're not trying to be pessimistic and like dump on everybody's hype or excitement. Like, of course it's good to be excited, but not at the cost of your building, right? Because this is reality, guys. We have, we've coached 15,000 people. We had 1 million views a day. We get hundreds of messages a day. Okay. I wish I could just open up my messages, people's privacy, but you're like, man, when you see this stuff and you're like, when on the back end of the year, the number one question we're getting is, do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's, and then boom, guess what the number one question was afterwards? What happened? Why do you think this happened? And then boom, it just started up again. I'm like, no, we're not doing this again. Are we? We're not doing this again in 2026. Are we going to do this? Like, we're really going to do this? Like, we're really going to go back into this hype and price predictions? And everybody's like, well, it's innocent. It's just someone's belief. But if you're in a position of authority, it's like Trump. It's like when Trump throws out a tweet, when he threw out okay. So if it's innocent, let's say this. So if it's innocent, then Trump throws out a tweet on 10/10/2025, right before the markets close, collapses Bitcoin. I'm throwing 100% tariffs on China. So was that innocent? It's just an innocent tweet. Okay. It's just innocent, right? But it liquidated $19 billion out of the crypto market. Just a tweet, right? It's just your opinion. It's just, I'm just going to throw this out there. Like, no, it's not just a tweet. It's not just an opinion if you're in a position of authority. It's some people's bond. It's some people's word. People are hanging on everything you say. So everything that comes out of my mouth, I try to think before I speak. And do I screw up? Absolutely. But I pray for wisdom every morning that the words that come out of my mouth are only coming from truth, right? And that are only coming from goodness and intention. And I'm not saying I'm holier than thou, but I'm just really thoughtful on the fact that, wow, our words have weight. They do. And, I take people following me very, very seriously. And I'm not saying they don't, but maybe they just don't realize that, damn, people are going to listen and people are going to make decisions off that. And how do we know that? Because people ask us those questions. Do you think, this is one of the questions, do you think I should get a home equity on my home to buy more XRP? That was one of the number one questions I was getting last year. On the back end, I was like, no, I do not think you should, because you can't afford the payment. And people did, and now they can't afford the payment. Do you think I should get a 0% credit card? No, absolutely not. I think you should get a second job, and I think you should hustle to make more cash flow and don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And guess what? It's going to start all over again, because it's going to be the story, the hype back and forth. So yeah, everybody's down significantly. I don't know what that means. Here we go. New York is different beast. Yeah, New York is, man, wild, man. The banks are kicking back hard on stablecoins, earning interest. What is the anticipated outcome? Anticipated outcome is them profiting from it, right? They're battling back and forth behind the scenes so they can all play in the same sandbox. That's all that's happening. Every bank is going to have their own stablecoin. They will have yield on stablecoins. Trust me. Once they can come to an agreement where they can all profit, right? So people think there's a battle between Coinbase and the bank. That's not what's happening, guys. They are behind the scenes working together, and people are shocked that Coinbase is guys, this is all being played. Why do you think it's delayed? The Clarity Act is delayed because they're all behind the scenes. Like, okay, you do this, you do this. Like, how are we all going to profit from this? We all thought we were running from centralization. We got caught in a net on the other side. The Trojan horse came in because we're drunk in the Coliseum. That's real. That's real talk, right? So what's happening is, once they're able to profit from it, they will come in, they will create the regulation, they'll come up with the rules, and then banks will start coming in. Yep. Yeah, so funny. Trump already has his own money with the stable coin, so why not paper? Yeah, it's just a historical thing, right? He's gonna put his name on the last bit of currency, man. Whoa, what's going on here? Sounds like there's a battle going on. Good morning, and there's a lot to go over today. Grand Rising. That is amazing. He deserves to be on the currency. The best president ever. My investment crypto choices are similar. My retirement age is 5 to 7 years. Because of my age, 2 divorces wreaked havoc on my income. Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for sharing that personal part. And I think the biggest thing is that I always share it with people is, what did we learn from those things, right? What did I learn from my past mistakes? And right, then that's the beauty in mistakes and things that wreaked havoc and things that came up in our life. And, if there's something that has cycled multiple times, it's like, what's going to be different this time, right? For me, it was like maturity. I was like, oh, I got to grow the fuck up. I got to become a man. I got to protect my family spiritually, physically, and financially. And for men, I'm speaking to your hearts, is, guys, we got to grow up, man. We really, 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 really have to grow up. And that's what's wrong with America, man. Men are sloppy as shit. It's real. I know, I lose a lot of followers when I say stuff like this, but that's okay. I mean, just look around, guys. I mean, let's self-reflect. Men are starting to look like women, like pears, and the women are starting to look like men. And do you realize what that is? Guys, it's literally divine masculine, divine feminine, completely out of balance. When dudes are sloppy, spiritually, physically, and financially, the woman has to step into her masculine, and it creates immature feminine, and it creates absolute chaos. Right? One of the things that I can't stand on social media is seeing women who humiliate their husbands on social media for clout, right? And then you see guys now doing content where they dress up as their wives and they parrot their wives. Like that's what we're doing? Like for money? Like we're doing, no, we should be locked the fuck in spiritually, physically, and financially. That's what should be happening right now, right? That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm just speaking truth on how I feel. If it's in my heart, that's why I put that out this morning, because it's truth. That like there's a lot of shit that I'm seeing. All these messages are picking up again. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. And so, men, spiritually, what does that mean? Lead your family in prayer, right? Make good decisions. Okay. When nobody's watching, that's what is going to be the fruit that you bear. When nobody's watching, put the lens on of your children. If my children saw me doing what I'm doing in darkness, would they be proud of me? If they walked in and they saw what I'm doing in darkness, would they be proud of me? That helps a lot for the spiritual lens. If my spouse, partner, loved one walks in and watches me doing this, would they be proud of me? If the answer is no, then the answer is no. That's how you start there, right? Then you start praying over your family, start reading the Bible, you start going and do Proverbs, 31 days, Proverbs, every 31 days, read it. It's super easy. Right? If you're not into Jesus Christ or God, just read Proverbs, guys. If you follow Proverbs, you're going to do pretty well. Some pretty cool stuff in there. And then physically, exercise. Get your shit together. We're drunk in the Coliseum right now. And financially, guys, you got to have a budget, man, because the woman is craving the masculine to provide predictability and safety. When you provide predictability and safety, she will magnetize you to, guys, you want to get wealthy? Make your woman feel safe. You want to get wealthy? Make sure she feels secure in the finances and she can trust you. If she can trust you, she will magnetize you. Have you ever heard you build the house, she will make it a home? And this is where people get so twisted. It's like, oh, it's dominion. It has nothing to do with that. That means you're immature. If you think when a man says, hey, I want to protect spiritually, physically, and financially, and your first thing is, well, he wants dominion over the one. No, it's completely opposite. He wants her. So, for example, I want my partner, May, to totally dive into her individualism and be who she's meant to be. And then she lets me be who I'm meant to be. And then we come together and choose each other and we expand each other. When that is out of balance, it looks like this. Imagine a goalpost, okay? When two people are individuals expanding into their own identity, they come together, boom, they score a touchdown. They choose each other. When one is out of balance, it collapses the household. Okay. So this is really important. But if a man is sloppy spiritually, physically, and financially, it creates chaos in the home. Okay. It creates immature feminine. So you're wondering why she has anxiety, why she's pissed off, why she's uncomfortable all the time, and why she starts saying things like, well, I don't want to be intimate with you. I don't feel like it. Because she doesn't feel safe. When a woman doesn't feel safe and she doesn't feel secure, she doesn't feel sexy. She doesn't see you as attractive. It doesn't matter, men, how ripped you are and how lean your abs are. You're like, look at me, I'm working out. She's like, you're not paying the bills. I don't feel safe. I can't trust your leadership. You actually look sloppy to her, even though your body looks fantastic. But imagine if your body was in alignment and she felt safe to be feminine. Okay. And she felt covered in the Spirit, in the Holy Spirit. Trust me, watch what happens. Magnetizes you. You want to build wealth, man? I'm giving you the secret to wealth. And it's completely opposite what these bullshit influencers are selling you. This manosphere bullshit, this multiple wide bullshit, this OnlyFans bullshit. It's all bullshit. Complete bullshit. You want to have a real man? You want to be a real man? Lock in financially, lock in spiritually, lock in physically, and provide covering. Make yourself last so your family can be first. And you want to experience peace on earth, heaven on earth? It's right there. When you put your head down at night, you sleep like a baby, man. But that's the road less traveled, man. That's the path that most men don't want to take because it's not easy. It's uncomfortable, but goddamn, it's rewarding. And how am I telling you this? From experience? I was that sloppy, broken little boy. So all I'm doing, I'm looking at a camera. I'm literally looking at myself. I'm speaking to my old self. And I have the right to do that because I know who he is and I know who I'm speaking to and I know whose heart I'm hitting right now. And I know how it feels because it feels uncomfortable and it feels like judgment and it feels like you want to scream at me and you want to comment in here that you don't know and blah, blah. It's your immaturity coming out because you know I'm right, because you know you're not physically taking care of yourself. You know that you're watching porn and you're not doing the things that you need to do. You know that you're not paying attention to your kids. You know that your son and daughter is coming to you, Mom, Dad, look at this, but you're stuck buried in your phone. Put the phone down, play with your kids, pillow fight, beat the shit out of your sons, have fun, roll on the ground. We got to wake up, man. We got to wake up. But you can't do that unless you're physically sound. And the reason why you don't pay attention is because you don't feel good about yourself. You got to build self-confidence. And once you build self-confidence, okay, then you start to build a relationship. First, a relationship with God, then self-confidence. And then you got to really take a hard look at your finances. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. When I was broke on my parents' couch, I was like, I'm done being an immature little boy, man. I'm done going through the excuses. I'm done portraying somebody on social media. I'm done trying to go viral. And I was like, what can I do to fix this? And I locked in. So, I didn't realize I had this thing up the whole time. Well, that worked out perfectly. Yeah. So everything is down significantly. Man, those little soapbox. I woke up fired up today, guys. Fired up today. And today was leg day. I feel beat up right now, man. So if I look tired, I am. CGV does not recommend anyone invest in what he invests in. He's just transparent in what he does. Yep, always best to your own. Yeah, I'm just like telling you guys what I do because I want you to be able to measure my success. I really, really, that's important to me. I tell you my percentages. I'm literally, you don't have to join our academy, guys. We have new content coming out where I'm literally telling you exactly what I'm doing. Okay. I just think it's really important. This is really important. The era of authenticity is here and transparency. Okay. Imagine liberals looking at Trump. Oh gosh. Imagine, man. That being said, I believe those projects will do in due time. Yeah, I totally believe my XRP. I believe in XRP. It wouldn't be 43% of my portfolio. Bitcoin would not be 40% of my portfolio. Guys, we have a meeting today. We own a insurance brokerage, just so you guys know. Very proud of that. We have a small brokerage where we teach people family banking concepts. And we have a meeting today with an insurance company that is going to allow us to do Bitcoin annuities. Hallelujah. Like we were talking about this a year ago. Remember we said this team, we're like, imagine when they allow us to start doing Bitcoin and insurance. Hallelujah. Are you kidding me? Like game over. And when insurance companies, they're the most conservative, they're last to go. There's nobody that can tell me crypto's a fraud because insurance companies are the most conservative, the most liquid. If insurance companies collapse, guys, when people ask us like, well, what if the insurance companies collapse? Then you better get ready for a zombie apocalypse. Insurance companies are the last resort of everything. They're opposite of banks, guys. You put in $100 and land at 100%. Insurance companies are opposite. Okay, they're super duper 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 liquid, and they're really good at predicting your death. And they're really profitable. Okay, but the positive side about that is that we can use the products to really benefit our families if you use them properly, right? Some news on XRP, been absent for a month or so. Nothing that I've seen that's too exciting. They're structuring the new system, then crushing the shit out of this one to replace it. Yeah, and there has to be some sort of systemic collapse. We think, I would say we, and thank you to Jackie who brought this to our attention. And we're going deep into the private credit crisis. We think that is going to be the 2006 to 2008, which is going to bring the capital markets to its knees. So if stock market comes collapsing down, crypto market's going to come collapsing down. So we're not trying to provide fear. We're just providing reality, right? We always hope for market meltdowns because we get wealthy in the bear market, and we hope that we've trained your brain to do that. I know it does not feel good. Trust me, I know it doesn't feel good, especially you came in 2025, your portfolio is down 30% maybe. I don't know what the exact percentages are. I know that doesn't feel good, but if you're convicted in what you're investing, that's your opportunity. You should think opposite. That's your opportunity to bring your dollar cost average down, because there will be a moment in time if you believe in the asset, we believe in these assets, they're going to come back, guys, at some point. Okay. It will happen in the next 2 to 3 years, probably. I mean, gosh, we're 4 months into 2026. We're coming up at 4 months into 2026, guys. 2028 is going to be here like that. You're going to have a new presidential election every 4-year cycle. During a presidential election, there's always a bull market. Okay. But I think there's going to be some really big pullbacks during that. And the private credit part, I think, is going to bring the ecosystem to its knees, which is going to give us phenomenal buying opportunities too, especially in the stock market too. So my ecosystem is 20% income dividend stocks. Let's see, stocks to crypto. Wait, hold on. My ecosystem is 20% income dividend stocks, 2 crypto pill stick. Sorry, I might need to rewrite that one. Sorry, especially with my dyslexia, my brain isn't picking that up. Love you, man. Just stalling things like the case. Yeah, absolutely. Like bidibab. Jesus Christ is and will always be king of all of us. Amen, man. Jesus Christ is king in my heart. Like, I've been renewed in Jesus Christ. Amen, baby. I love Jesus Christ with all my heart. I love you. I'm not saying you have to love Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ has unequivocally changed my life ever since I honored God in all I do, and I gave my heart to Jesus Christ. It makes me emotional, man, because it's like, that is the foundation of my life, God. Like, I will not even do business with somebody that won't let me talk about God or Jesus Christ. I refuse to be in someone's paradigm if they will not let me speak about my belief in God and Jesus Christ. You can believe in what you want. Like, my CFO is Buddhist, right? But that's cool. Like, do your thing. But like, if you tell me that I can't speak about, that's why I created my own ecosystems, man. Anybody that's like, in corporate America, you couldn't talk about God or politics. What if that's part of your life? Like, who are we? Your identity. My identity isn't a damn executive at the bank. That's what they made me believe. It's like, I'm an executive at the bank. No, it's my character of who I am outside the bank that made me a good executive. Right. And that's the problem with identity, right? A cop, a firefighter, a banker, a CEO. That's your title. It's not your character. Who you are at home and who you are personally is your character. That is your identity. And your identity will always bleed through. I'm doing a whole presentation in our men's coaching program. If you want to join it, refinedintegrity.com today around that. Is like, I'm sorry to tell you, but people say work life and personal life. Nope. Trust me, with 50 years of wisdom, running 6 companies and doing this for a very long time, it is not personal life and work life. If someone has a shitty personal life, they will bleed through, the character will bleed through into your work life. So if you're a leader of an ecosystem, be very careful. I'm telling you, be very, very careful. If you know something is going on unethically or immorally in someone's personal life, and you think it won't bleed into your ecosystem, you're going to be sadly mistaken. I've almost lost one of our businesses because I learned through wisdom that someone's personal life will definitely destroy your ecosystem. I was like, it's their personal life. It bled through into our ecosystem, and I almost lost our business in 2022. 100%. So trust me, it's wisdom. So I don't know where I went on that tangent. I already did that one. I went from Petrodollar. It went from Petrodollar to Petrodollar real quick. Oh, geez. I saw that second word. I'm not going to repeat that. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Thank you for sharing quality wisdom and research. I'm very genuinely grateful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, TJ. Fire. 250 years in Pluto return. Here we go. We won't even have the same America by 2030. 100% agree. Is that Colby? If I'm saying that, Colby Barrett. He nailed it, man. It is not going to be the same America, guys. You trust me. You are seeing this is all planned out, guys. You're not seeing decisions that are being happening right now. This is all methodically planned out to bring you into the new world, guys. It's going to be unrecognizable after 2030. And I've been trying to preach from the mountaintops, like the middle class has to wake up. Financial literacy is the number one thing, guys. If you don't know where your 401k is allocated, please take sovereignty of that. I'm not saying you have to like run off, but what I'm saying is like if you don't know about the private credit markets, you don't know, like, guys, They don't care about us. They're ruthless. The markets are absolutely ruthless. Do you think they gave a shit that our parents lost their retirement in 2006 and 2008? No, they don't care. They packaged up the fucking bad debt and sold it to us as equity. BlackRock packaged up GE's bad debt and sold it to us as equity, guys. Think about that. BlackRock is pushing people in to pushing private credit into 401ks. We have even the Federal Reserve doesn't even know how systemic the problem is. So we have to start to pay attention. That's why we love insurance, guys. Insurance protects our principal. Whenever you guys all come collapsing down, we got 30% of our wealth insured. May's at 50%. That's why I pull profits and I put it into insurance. I pull profits, we put it into silver. I pull profits, I put it into Bitcoin because I look over the long term. Bitcoin is the most scarce asset in the world, right? Worked hard for this money, man. Are you completely blind to no King's protests? Can you share more? I see it on social media, but I don't spend my time on it. Can you share more about what your thought process is and your perception of me being blind to no King? I don't spend an ounce of my energy on it at all. Like at all. I'm too busy raising my family, man. Love you guys, but I'd love to hear your perception on me being blind to something. So the only thing I'm blind to everything but my family, God, and if something comes into my paradigm, we go into war, man. Good morning. Good morning. Cycles always repeat, but I'd love to hear your deeper perception on my opinion. Trump dollar syndrome and private credit is the new collapse. We really believe that, man. So we'll watch, see what happens. How we doing on time? Oh, we got to lock this up, man. Man, that went by fast, man. Things must collapse, burn. Yeah, it's how things work. Is that our Jackie? Yeah, things, guys, it has to collapse, man. That's the thing. Unfortunately, it has to. That's just how new comes in, man. That's just how new comes in. So you must have a plan, family. Got to get lock in. All right, let me see if there's any maturity, great structure, and there's a plan for the future. All right. Oh, man, there's a lot of comments, guys. Well, thank you, guys. Look at almost 3,000 people on here. I appreciate that so much. Oh, here we go. You talk about Trump so much that you don't see the huge opposition to his leadership. Okay, so good. So I talk about Trump so much because he's the president and he's making decisions for our country. So therefore it affects my currency and my family. So I'm using logical circuit based on the decisions he is making. He's the president of the United States. So I wouldn't be talking about Biden. I wouldn't be talking about Clinton. I'd be talking about Trump, who is making the decisions with Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, right? I'm a financial expert. I'm not a political expert. So I teach people how to move and navigate their money through the system to protect them. So I don't play in the arenas that I don't understand because that's unethical and immoral. But he's the president of the United States. So there's a lot of news around Trump. And so no King's protests. Like I don't pay attention to that. It's not I don't. Does that make sense? Like I'm trying to protect our family's ecosystem because they're fucking ruthless, man. Like, and if you think that there's like this big left and right battle going on, you're sadly mistaken, man. Like everything happening is all by design. Problem, reaction, solution. Whoever creates the problem, creates a reaction in the people, comes up with the solution. I'm a warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a war, baby. I'm getting my shit together. Because think about this, okay? So would it benefit me to go out and protest? Or would it benefit me to get my shit together spiritually, physically, and financially, and provide an amazing ecosystem for my family and provide tools and resources so people can build sovereignty within their own heart? Because will we do better if we got our shit together personally, or would we do better if we go fight the New King's protest and go back and forth politically and try to act like we have it all figured out? And, you know, everybody says they have insight. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's been the same shit every single time. Everybody was shocked that they lied to us about the Epstein files. Everybody was shocked that they lied. You're shocked. You're shocked that Coinbase is like, you're shocked. Like, when are we going to stop being shocked and get our shit together? I stopped being shocked and I got my shit together. I stopped waiting for saviors and I got my shit together. I stopped waiting for Jesus Christ to come out of the sky, and I picked up my mat and walked. I stopped waiting for someone to bail me out financially, and I bailed myself out financially. I stopped waiting for my partner to be attracted to me, and I got my shit together physically, spiritually, and financially, and became a man so that she could magnetize and be attracted to me. That's my point. I stopped waiting. So I don't understand. There is no opposition to his leadership because I'm leading. There is no opposition to Biden's leadership because I'm leading. I don't have to have opposition in anything else because I'm leading. So I'm only going to call out the things that I can personally understand, the personal things that are affecting my family, the things that I understand. Like, for example, the price predictions. I understand that because it personally, here's the thing. I can personally call that out because it personally came into my paradigm. It's personally being messaged to me of people in our community getting hurt. So that's a personal thing. I'm a warrior in a garden. It came into my garden, and people are saying to me, man, I mortgaged my home and I thought that I was going to be a millionaire. What should I do now? I'm like, you should have listened to me and you should have built a plan. So that's a warrior in a garden. I study Miyamoto Musashi, Marcus Aurelius, Stoic principles. Okay. So when it comes into my garden like that, I'm going to call the shit out. But I'm not going to go tend someone else's garden because I don't know what that person's doing. I don't give a shit what the other person is doing. I don't care about the faceless people commenting on my socials. I don't give a shit. What I care about is my words, my actions, my behaviors, and my intentions. That's what I care about. I'm not here to give people a soft pillow. I'm here to teach you discipline, consistency, done for a long enough period of time to access a new paradigm. And how can I do that? Because I'm living it. It's embodiment. That's the truth. And so we will see all this play out. The way, the truth, and the life is embodiment. That's what it is. The way, the truth, and the life. Jesus Christ. He came, the Son of God, went through and embodied and died for the cross on our sins, for our sins, washed us in the blood of Christ, to show us to pick up our mat and walk, and to be embodied in our words, to be embodied in our actions. Think about that. So what are you going to do? Go protest and go fight against this or fight against that? Or are you going to go get your shit together in your family? Because when you're getting your shit together in your family, spiritually, physically, and financially, you can't see any of this shit because you're too busy getting your shit together. And that's what I see out here. Because I see a bunch of men, and I'm going to speak to men's hearts specifically, that are so sloppy, that are creating all this content and arguing back and forth. It's like, what about your family? What about your ecosystem? What about it? And the only reason I bring shit up is because it came into my paradigm. It came into my garden. And I'm like, damn, that's a weed in my garden. And I'm going to pluck that shit out, and I'm going to call it out, and I'm going to face it. And then I'm going to move on. That's how winning is done. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.